Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. Back with part 3 of my plans for Pan-Asianism. It feels like it's ages since I did part 1 and 2, but obviously I didn't get around to doing part 3 till now. But anyway, I woke up really late today. I was like, I don't think I got my butt out of bed till like 12 o'clock, so it's a nightmare. And I slept quite a lot yesterday. I was feeling a bit rough as well, my eyes and stuff like that. I thought, I hope I'm not coming down with something, especially obviously nowadays with coronavirus and all that. But hopefully, like today, I feel okay. But in the morning, I was so knackered. So anyway, hopefully, I'm not too bad. I didn't go for a walk yesterday, which was very unusual for me, and I haven't been for a walk today, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have a chance to go out later. But anyway, I'm going to try and crack on with this video. So because I really want to finish part 3. So here goes. If you haven't checked out part 1 and part 2, please check them out, or maybe even watch them again to just remind yourself of what I said in them. Anyway, as many views and likes and that sort of thing as possible, much appreciated. So here goes. Number 21. I love to inspire people to learn about Asian history, and also to talk about Asian success stories throughout history and what Asians have achieved. But also, like, I love to share with people across Asia, like Asian success stories, which I hope that will inspire them from people both from the diaspora and also from Asia itself, and also like to, as I talked before, about like teaching people in Asia about successful people, so to speak, with neurodiverse conditions, especially dyslexia, also A.D.H.D, autism, and other neurodiverse conditions, and damn runny nose, and also so that it can inspire them, and also like so politicians and teachers and people like that can learn about people with so they can see like a dyslexic kid. And I've talked about this before, so sorry for repeating myself, but I'd love to share as many of those success stories and famous dyslexics as I have been doing. And also, I mean, I've not got many days left where I'm going to be working on talking about my ideas for Asia, because then in July I'm going to be talking about Indigenous or Native Americans. But I'll come back to plans for Asia in August, hopefully all being well, and hopefully I'll actually manage to make some of them, or as many of them as possible, work out. Sorry, excuse me, my back again. Anyway, so yeah, so hopefully I'll talk about those success stories, and again teach about successful people with neurodiversity, so that they're hopefully treated better, like especially as children in school. Number 22. Hopefully I can look at how to encourage, I'm hoping to look into if I can get a few people to support Pan-Asianism, then hopefully more and more will support Pan-Asianism. And I think it's really important to try and get Asia to be as united as possible, especially right now. And I'd love to get Asians around the world to be as positive as possible, united as possible, as well as positive, and that sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully if I can encourage at least a few people to be Pan-Asianists, then hopefully over time more and more will become so. Number 23, I have to look at fundraising for Pan-Asian projects, and like in the future, if my YouTube channel does well enough, or my projects do well enough, or if I develop a team, then I'll say our projects do well enough, then I would say to nations like China and India, you only get funding if you work together, and like Asian groups would only get funding if they work together. And also I think it'd be great if groups come together to like NGOs and all that to support Asia generally, and like especially like scientists and how they can solve problems with global warming and that sort of thing. Sorry if I'm repeating a lot of these ideas, but I hope some of them will be at least a little bit new. But yeah, I think that's really important right now. Number 24. Again, hopefully, if people from India and China put pressure on their governments and the rest of Asia as well, like to work more closely together, hopefully we can develop a movement, myself and whoever else supports Pan-Asianism, to come together and make Asia be as united as possible. Number 25, I hope for Asian nations to support, to be like part of like larger Republican networks. Number 26, I think, as I say, because Asia was divided, and I've mentioned this before, so please forgive me for repeating myself, but as Asia was divided, I think that it's really important to unite together. And I think other countries in like America, perhaps to an extent, or other countries who don't want to see Asia do well, perhaps, even the UK, dare I say, and maybe even parts of Europe who don't want to see Asia do well, would love to see them divided, because then they can't achieve as much or be as much of a threat to them. And I think that should make Asian nations want to be more united, because if your enemy wants you to be divided, then perhaps it shows that you should be more united. Camera on your nose. Sorry. And I think that if you look at the Asian nations being divided, I think that's made them not as powerful throughout history. So I think a continent or a nation that's united and a continent that's united will do a lot better. And again, they can work together on things like counterterrorism and things like that, and all sorts of projects. I also hope for anti-imperialists to support Asian and African unity. 27, I hope to reward those who contribute to Asia, and I'd love to, in the future, there to be award ceremonies, like award ceremonies where the top X number of people, it could be 10, 20, 30, or even 100 or 1,000 people who have, or maybe even like bring like the top 10, because then it's specifically, hopefully people compete to get to the top 10, like of the best contributors to Pan-Asianism, the greatest contributors to Pan-Asianism, best contributors to Pan-Asianism, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, hopefully that will encourage more people to become Pan-Asianists, and they'll be honoured. So those who have contributed most to uniting Asia together and helping Asia to work together. And I'd love to support things like a Pan-Asian airline, Asians working together to make safer travel and things like that. And also to acknowledge those not just from Asia themselves, but also from the diaspora, but not only from the diaspora, but also from the also people generally, like companies that contribute to Asia, whether they invest in businesses or startups or anything like that, and help Asian entrepreneurs to become successful and develop peace in Asia. And they can also be like award events for things like certain categories, like those who have contributed the most peace to Asia, those who have made the most unity in Asia, those who have helped most Asian entrepreneurship and Asian unity generally, and all sorts of things like that. And contributors to tackling poverty, or contributors to encouraging enterprise, and all sorts of things like that. Number 28, hopefully they'll be able to turn negative situations into positives by working together. Again, I think by working together they can do much better than if they're divided or working apart from each other. 29, I hope to encourage mixed race people, especially part Asians, to support Asia. And number 30, hopefully I'll come up with some new ideas as well in the future, and hopefully some of those ideas are at least a little bit different, or at least I told them in a little bit of a different way. As ever, I'd love to know what you think. I've finally got part 3 out of the way, which I really want to do. So I have to go out soon, so I'm not going to be able to do as many videos or plans. I really wanted to wake up early today and do loads of plans, but hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to do a lot better with that sort of stuff. So anyway, as ever, I'd love to know your ideas about what you think could benefit Asia or help Asia to be more united, and which I think would benefit Asia. What you think are the best ways generally to benefit Asia, whether you think it's unity, hard work, dedication, commitment, or whatever other ideas you think. And I think that if you look at a hard-working person working on their own versus many people working together, that I think I think working together in unity is even better than hard work, perhaps. But again, I'd love to know what you think. Anyway, I'm out.